this
I
conversation.
thought it was
I can tell you it's definitely unnecessary. We could definitely just talk about this thing for hours, I bet.
Sure.
Which is so strange because starting it up, I was like, this game.
I knew it'd be something like that. I just
Listen,
like,
this is why it's important to not talk about it yet, because we all gonna have
Yeah,
different
yeah, yeah.
experiences with it based on what we know.
Okay.
Especially me and Steve and anime crap, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
What?
Welcome back to another Goon Squad episode.
Oh.
So, last week, I asked everyone to play Doki Doki Literature Club and sold it as a regular anime-style dating sim.
You didn't say shit.
Everybody hated it. But
That's not true. I loved it.
No. Everyone hated the idea at first.
Oh, God, yeah.
But they did it anyway, because we're the bestest of friends.
Suffer.
So today I want to hear all about their reactions, and if you played Doki Doki Literature Club before, you'll probably want to know more, because the three of these guys have never played it before. They had no idea what they were getting into. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm pumped. I want to hear it.
You can go ahead and spoil it, unless you want to just give a basic of what the thing is.
All right. So basically, Doki Doki Literature Club kind of appears as a manga, anime-style visual novel / dating simulator, where you are a boy, and I think it's a common trope in Japanese.
It's the most common by
media,
far.
I guess. Yeah. So like
what they call a harem.
A harem. Oh, okay.
Can't have a harem only 4. Come on.
So basically,
5 is a harem.
You're a student, and you're meant to join an after-school club. You have many choices, but eventually, you just stick into.
It's all girls. There's only girl characters.
Yeah, the literature club. Also, there's no one else at the school.
No teachers, no parents,
nothing
no adults
at all. So you end up joining this literature club because of your childhood friend who goes by the name of Sayori, who's a very moe type character. I mean, all of them are.
Happy girl. Happy, cute girl.
Yeah, so you're in this literature club, and you're just hanging out with all these really cute anime girls.
Yeah, each day you have to write a poem, so it really draws you into it. So this is going to be the most of the game.
Yeah.
And then slowly changes a little bit. Like, it's getting a little scary now. Suddenly people are talking about depression. Suddenly talking about I don't know what I do without you, and love becomes this thing. Is it love or is it creepy?
I don't know. I mean, ultimately it's friendship, right? But I mean, it could bloom into something else. But fuck, what was I gonna say? Yeah. So this is a common theme, right, for visual novels in this style.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big time.
Because spoiler alert, this game is meant to kind of lure you in, thinking it's like that, just how I lured my boys, and then just flip the script and turn into something completely different.
It's a trap.
Yeah, and it happens very slowly. But answer me this, boys. Y'all have only played it once?
I just played it once. Yeah, I didn't play it.
Well, depends on what you think.
Did you load saves?
So, whenever you finish the first go around, it gives you takes away.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
Okay,
that's fine.
Then yes. Yeah.
Until you can't play anymore, basically.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. But the thing is, I replayed it, or I didn't really replay it. I actually watched a walkthrough, a let's play of it afterwards, and you can really tell how creepy it is, because they do drop subtle hints.
Oh yeah, for
and
sure.
All this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to break into what it is.
Nick, we should go to Nick's reaction, because that's the most interesting. I'm interested in. Nick, how do you feel?
Nick, wait. No, more than that.
Yeah,
Nick,
we gotta get.
I do want you to start, but I also want to know what you felt when I asked you to play this.
Yeah, start from the beginning.
I was so disappointed, to say the least. Okay, for you guys that don't know, I don't watch all that much anime. Like One Punch Man, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto. That's all I've seen anime-wise. I usually stay away from it. It's just not my thing. I don't watch. I don't play. I don't look it up. I don't do anything anime for the most part. It's just not my thing. And when he recommended this, my heart sank. I was like, there's so many other choices. But his challenge was to play this game, don't look up anything about it, and just play it. So it was like, all right, do it for the goons. Started playing it, hated it. It was one of those things where I'm not going to lie, in the middle half, I was just clicking and kind of looking out the window.
Yeah.
I was so bored of it. I was so tired of it. I was like, what is the point of this game? And then I started paying attention kind of right towards the end as things started kind of going off. And then I was like, do we go ahead and just go into it? Like, do I just let it go? When shit gets wild, shit got wild, okay? It actually... What?
No, I'm just going to let the listeners know that what Nick means when he says shit gets wild is... And I should actually preface this before we go further. There comes a point... So you have your childhood friend Sayori who coerces you to get into this literature club, right?
Oh, she wants you to.
She really wants you to and stuff. And you're just like, okay, like whatever.
Super energetic and happy.
And you're drawn in, and you're drawn in, and you're forced to. You're not forced, but like you want to stay because like it's just you, the one dude, heterosexual dude with just like cute girls.
Yeah.
4 of them, including Sayori. So, and then Sayori keeps bugging you about like literature club, and it's like bubbly just being so fucking annoying. I found. Until it comes to a close where you're kind of directed towards your own feelings towards her outside of the literature club.
Yeah, the classic anime thing is that she's the best friend, and that's almost always the love interest. It's always like, oh, the best friend who turns into when you're of age. It's like, oh, now we're gonna start being more than friends because I really like you already. It's it's a very like Japanese trope kind of thing. It's very common, and so they turn it on its head. Because eventually, out of almost nowhere, she gets really depressed. She tells you about her depression. You're like, okay, where is this going? This is interesting now. Because this is something, when I first had that happen, it was like a scene randomly. I'm like, oh, I've never seen this in a dating sim. I've never seen this in most like Japanese kind of, It
was jarring.
Yeah, anything like that. It's like, okay, wow, this is getting serious. This is interesting.
Yeah. So you have that heart-to-heart with Sayori. And then I think the game kind of asks you to like... The game really makes you think that you have control, but really it's very linear. So even if you say, Sayori, let's give it a chance or whatever, like, in more words than one, you wake up the next day, everything's great, you go to Sayori's house, and Nick, what happens? What do you see?
She hung herself in the middle of her bedroom.
She confesses her love to you, and either way, if you accept it or you don't, either way, she commits suicide the next day. And it's like super jarring because the music's been for like an hour of the game so far. It really takes its time. It really draws you in with the music and like the tone. Everything is super happy, cutesy. And then there's like the one scene about depression, and then suddenly, boom, suicide. You see the image, freaky.
It does the same thing that Undertale did.
Yeah.
It touted itself as a very happy game, and then suddenly that scene when Sans asks you, why'd you kill my brother? The music just like cuts. The text gets slower. And I guess like that really put me towards indie games. But anyway, that's something for another topic. But yeah, Nick, going from there.
So from there, things start. There's like glitching and everything on your screen and whatnot. Static, kind of like from an old TV or whatever going out. And then it just takes you back to the menu. It says end, slaps you back at the menu. And then there's just these, instead of your save file, you have this long string of just random shit.
That's like glitching out.
Hexadecimal shit. Yeah.
You click it and it like restarts the game. But as you start going,
right, stop right there. I just wanted to know your reaction to that.
Yeah,
I want to go around the room.
Just to that first half.
Yeah. When the image.
That image actually. I mean, I kind of felt like something bad was going to happen, but for them to just go from 0 to 60 like that, kind of just like, oh, okay.
I mean, my skin crawl, like legit.
Because it tricks you in the beginning. Like it tricked me. Because when I was watching the Let's Play, there was another time when you go to her house, and I thought, oh shit, this is it. But no, she was there.
Yeah,
she was there. Everything was fine.
Classic slow burn. It was really good.
You're already trained into like the normalcy of going to her house and everything like that. But anyway, thank you, Nick. We'll get back to that. Steve, how did you feel when I asked you to play this game?
So I thought that it was either going to be a game about porn or that it was going to be a game like it was. Because I've played games like that before.
Katawa Shujo and all that.
Sort of, yeah. Those similar games that's all about just kind of teaching you or educating you about like, kind of a life lesson or about something that doesn't get a lot of attention. So that was kind of my initial reaction going into it. And honestly, I kind of started picking up on it like day one with the poems. like just reading the poems, there was a lot of very subtle stuff in there that just kind of like popped out at me that I was like, it's like, oh shit, something's happening.
That's what
definitely from what's her face?
Monica?
Like Yuri.
Yeah,
Yuri, yeah.
Yuri,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Monica on day one was what really popped out to me.
Oh, for
Monica
sure.
was the most normal one there.
See, she seemed like the least normal to me, actually.
Yeah, she was really weird.
I mean, she was
In a
just
very,
obedient.
in a
So
very.
you read it
creepy way.
early.
I got from the first poem that Yuri was a cutter. Or at least that was going to be a thing.
She was
And that
obsessed
was
with
immediately
knives.
a thing. Yeah, I love that. I was like, oh, here we go. I love that I didn't know where it was going, though. I thought maybe it was like a serious, like, oh, this is like a realistic look at like if there are girls obsessed with this guy, what they would do.
Yeah.
So I actually was kind of disappointed by how it became just like an AI thing and kind of like a weird subversion of that, but like it was still interesting.
In a weird sense, like the game makes you feel helpless in a sense because it's like the choices are so binary, and like if you know anything about like what you're supposed to do in those situations, then you're like, well, none of these two choices are going to actually do anything.
Yeah.
Therefore, like you can't take the third option is kind of the point. So it's like even if you know it's coming or like know what's about to happen, you're like, and I was recording myself playing this and I was like saying like, it's like it doesn't matter what I pick here.
I love when
go
I
down.
started taking control and not letting you pick anything else. It was just her option every time. That was awesome.
So how did you react, Steve, to when you saw the first clue that this is not what it seems, aka the going to Sayori's house?
Well,
Were you shocked
so- say again?
were you shocked or
No, I wasn't like shocked.
did you have
I
an
was-
inkling?
Yeah, I knew what I would see. I knew what was gonna happen. Like that, it was pretty obvious.
They
and,
foreshadowed it pretty heavily, which is
I'd
nice.
say-
I didn't.
okay, because like I'd say from day 3, I knew how it was gonna end.
Yeah. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, like that was pretty. At first, I thought like my initial thought was like that Monica was the weird one, or like that there were. I would say originally I didn't think that Sayori was the one that would happen, but then by the time like day 3 came around, I think it really kind of sort of.
Okay.
came
Way
about.
more important question is who did everyone want to fuck? That's the most important question of all.
easy.
Like easily.
Monica.
Easy.
Wrong answer.
Yuri.
Next one. Thank you, my man.
I mean, even when I first played.
wait. What's Steve's?
I would say Sayori.
Oh, there you go. See, we're pretty split. No one wants to fuck the kid, little child.
I was gonna say you got to be careful there. Yeah.
Probably a good thing. Yeah.
Because I listened to another podcast that actually did an episode about this game. They were kind of worried because they had the same question, like, who were you kind of leaning towards?
Oh yeah, it's
And
really important.
Nobody said Natsuki because like she clearly says she's like not underage, but
She looks like a child.
She's the friend
in a lower
Yeah.
form. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I like her personality, but like,
Petite.
my God,
Yeah.
yikes.
Yeah. No, I find her absolutely annoying. Like,
But
But
it's
as I was playing, like whenever you go to help out, like in that little aspect, I picked her just because I felt like some of my poems leaned toward Monica, some of them leaned towards Yuri.
Yeah.
I was trying to play everybody's bases and see what would happen.
Are you trying to get them all in your
this-
I was just seeing what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
your
I wasn't-
poems lean towards hers.
You know how whenever you pick the words and they jump up in the
Person
bottom?
jumps up.
I
yeah.
know.
Like,
Oh, okay,
there was
right.
times where I would pick words that it would just be Yuri jumping or
I was
something.
gonna say
You
because
know.
Natsuki's poems were the shittiest ones in the game.
Yeah, they were
Well,
terrible.
they were just the cutesy garbage, yeah. Cutesy anime garbage.
Dogs can't fly.
Cutesy
What's the thing? So it's like I loved how I really wanted that to actually affect the gameplay, which I don't think it really does.
It really
other than
doesn't.
like
Well,
So
slightly.
here's
like,
an interesting
text.
question: is at the end when you see like the pixelated image, I'm pretty sure, and I don't know if this is right. All your choices that you chose, it like fills in the pieces of the character based on those
Oh.
choices.
That's interesting. No, I never.
Like-
even...
For instance, like when I saw my pixelated image, it was like 70% like Monica, and then
What?
like so I think it takes all your choices that you chose for all your poems and it turns those into pieces. to where-
Right, but my point is like at first it only matters because that's only matters if you actually want to like have one of them like you. So when you're first playing the game, like day one was like, oh, I'm just gonna write a poem just for funsies to see how this mechanic works.
Yeah.
And I just picked the stuff I liked. I like try to be like introspective and like whatever. I didn't even notice that like certain characters were jumping up and down when I picked the
yeah,
words. It was just I was just doing it on my own, just for like funsies.
Oh, okay.
And then it was like, oh, you did okay. it was fine poem, and I was like, oh, it doesn't really matter after
It really
that.
doesn't, no.
Yeah, and which it doesn't. It's just a script.
Greg.
But yeah, I was like, oh, this actually does it affect later on once like Sayori killed herself. I was like, oh, if I keep liking Yuri, will she kill herself? And that was the thing. Was like, do I want this or I want to try to save her? Was at that point after that happened.
Japanese girls are weird, man.
No, I was like, I'm gonna kill them all. My plan at that point was kill them all. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make them all commit suicide.
All right, Greg, how did you feel when I asked you to play this game?
At first I was not excited because I know that the majority of them are trash and terrible. Because one, I've played them before. I have a history of these games.
Okay.
And two, like again, they're not really meant for like Western audiences, at least in my opinion. They're really like just like it's like the penny trash comics of like the 90s where it's just like, oh, we're just gonna throw things out here because it's like part of our culture, and then people will read them and they're cheap and crappy. It's kind of the same kind of like mentality. It's like we have to draw 4 girls and then we'll make them slide different poses, and that's an entire game that people will pay money for or whatever. It's super cheap. So the fact that it had something interesting behind it was awesome. I'm glad there was, and that's all I knew. All I knew was there was something good about it, which kept me going. Yeah. Because the first hour in, I was losing it. I was so bored. I'm like, oh my god, I don't care, because it was the most trope thing ever. Like there was no, at least an hour in, there was like almost no signs at all of anything changing or anything getting interesting. It was just like, okay, it's just the boring. Like everyone's super like nice to each other. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. I outbursted. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm shy. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's just like this is most of the dialogue. Terrible.
Yeah, I feel like most of the actual expression through the characters was the poems.
Oh, for sure. That was the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, I think even so, like the actual personalities were sometimes like very opposite of like how they actually were.
It was good enough to keep me like going, because that was an interesting thing, because it wasn't just like, oh, just generic poem that fits the perspective of the character. Mm-hmm. It was like there's some like I said, I noticed the knife thing right away with Yuri. I was like, that's a weird line. Yeah. There was something like knives are beautiful or something. I was like, what the fuck? that's weird. And then like you're saying, like Monica would say weird things occasionally, which now looking back makes sense because she's like it's the AI freaking out. But like
the poems get weirder and weirder as you go.
No, of course.
To the point where they aren't even coherent. So, and like what you said about you played a lot of these games, so like you know how they usually go and stuff. And they're not made for a Western audience. This game is made by Team Salvato, by a guy named Dan Salvato. Yeah,
3 dudes.
It's a Western team. So
that's what I'm saying. They knew exactly what they're doing. They did a perfect job in parodying it and like bringing you in. Like I said, I was completely bought in. So when the twist happens, when she kills herself, and there's this image of this like girl hung like almost out of nowhere, I legitimately got freaked out. I was like, like it's like that kind of like horror moment. Like whenever they have like the first kill in like a horror, it's like out of nowhere, and they just cut to it. And like, because I remember when I saw The Ring. You guys remember The Ring when the first girl dies in the closet and her eyes are all fucked up? They just cut to it, and it freaks me out every time I see it. It's just so shocking because you're just like, oh, it's just like this teen drama, whatever. Boom, horrific thing.
I know.
Yeah. And they did the music. I specifically noted that the music started getting creepier and creepier near the end. They cut it out at certain points, and they just like and that's how they really got me with the music because it was so droning and so like cutesy. And then
a very good point.
But I'm getting chills just thinking about it all over again.
Really well done.
I love what they did with the music because. Like Greg said, they do cut. It does cut out during like really, like cold moments, like frigid moments, and not just that. Once the jig is up and you know this is fucked up, it goes back to the regular music, but now it's garbled. Yeah, it goes off pitch sometimes. It kind of it goes crazy. Is basically the best way I can put it.
I was thinking. Go ahead.
I was gonna say sorry, can finish your thought and then.
I was going to say how I came across the game and like that shit, but I'll save it. Go ahead.
Well, I think it's leading off of what you were saying. I think it's very interesting as well how like you can only play through the game once, quote unquote, before it gets kind of messed up. Mm-hmm. Kind of giving and they drop subtle hints like basically like there's no second chances essentially.
Yep.
Throughout the game where it's like you better save now. Now's the time to save, and I just like paused and I was like,
Monica literally tells you. And at that point, you feel like Monica's not talking to your character; she's talking to you.
Oh yeah,
like you better save your games. Like,
I think Monica definitely broke.
I never did.
Every single day, she broke it
once. before the major plot thing happened, and I played it back to see if it changed anything, and it doesn't. And so that's why I think it's also a good idea that they put that in there to make you think like you have control again, like you were saying. But it's very straightforward. It's a very straightforward narrative. You can't
linear.
do much.
Yeah.
All you can change is if you like either Yuri or the other one, Natsuki or whatever her name was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's it. You get like 2 different pictures. That's why in the credits they show you the pictures you got, basically.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no other real thing you can change, which is interesting enough. Like I tried, so when I replayed it, and I tried to play it from the very beginning again. I wanted to only pick Monica to see what happened. She would like freak out, like, oh, he actually likes me. But no, it doesn't let you because the other characters intervene, which is interesting. It's a very good balance what they did.
Yeah.
To make you feel like it's it's just a straightforward narrative. It's like watching a movie.
There's no choice.
Yeah. So the way I got into this game was a buddy of mine named Chris. You guys have met him. It's the same Chris I talked about in previous episodes. He would. I remember even going to his place, and he would have the game up.
That's
and
weird.
I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, no, dude, you should play it. It's good. I'm like, okay. And this was like 2 years before I actually got around to sitting down and playing it.
Of course.
He used to keep doing it. All the Snapchats he sent me and stuff would be like, the screen of the game every now and then or anything like that. And he's playing.
What?
No, it'd be like something like, oh, just enjoying a glass of wine or a can of beans in this case. And just like enjoying some Doki Doki. I'm like, I thought I was the weird one in this relationship. That's weird. And then like finally I'm like, all right, fuck it. Like 2 years later and stuff, I had some time off and like, all right, let's play this thing. And then it was just literally just...
Yeah.
Yeah,
doing this.
it was
doing
so
this
bad at
forever,
the beginning.
Ever.
It's watching a movie,
Yeah.
or reading a book.
And then I just kept going anyway, and it got really late. So I'm like, I'm really skittish when it comes to scary shit. I'm actually hate horror shit. And then the thing happened. And shit came, and I literally, I remember I got up, I closed the door.
Yeah.
Sat down, and by then I was hooked. Because I didn't realize you could save. I didn't know if you could even save at that point, right? I'm already knee deep in. Like, I might as well go balls deep in. So I did.
I kill them all, dude.
And it got fucking crazy. I remember texting Chris that day. I was like, you son of a bitch. Like, you made me play this game. It's like, what? What game? And like, it had been 2 years, so he's forgotten about it. But at least I think that's how it went. But anyway. That game fucking rocked me. But afterwards, I just couldn't stop talking about it, Like, I tried to get people to play it, and no one wanted to sit through the beginning. It's kind of like... It's like, you have this show that you really fucking love and stuff, and you want to share it with someone, but they're gonna have to go through the first season of just establishment shit,
It really is like a movie.
That's what Doki Doki is. It's a lot of traps, like kind of like soothing music.
Yeah.
Just to like get you into it, and you won't get to the end until like it's kind of like Undertale in a way if you're not into that kind of genre. But it gets
Undertale was more of a game though, for sure.
That's true.
It's less of a game.
Yeah. So
I was actually disappointed by like the poetry thing. I wanted to have some effect at all. Like maybe like if you really like focused on one girl, then she would help you in the end against the AI or whatever.
Yeah.
Or something. But it was literally pointless. It was just another way to get you. Again, it wasn't pointless. It made you think it was an actual thing that was getting you into the game.
Yeah.
But it was ultimately pointless.
Yeah. Another interesting thing, like taking the idea of like the music and sort of the whole idea of that basically the characters are putting on faces when you interact with them. And like the music in essence assists with that. Like, can you imagine playing through the game again, but turning the music off? And how you might get a completely different read on every single conversation.
I don't know if it's
I see your point. No, I see your point. I think he's right. I mean, the impact wouldn't be there.
Of course.
But you'd always be on guard.
Like just like the casual, like instead of the upbeat music during the casual conversation,
the
it might not sound
the music is the sixth character because it does play a huge role.
For sure.
Yeah, into lulling you into this false sense of security. Without the music, I agree, Steve. It would not have the impact, but it would have that slow burn of creepy. It wouldn't be a horror movie. It would be a thriller. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. It's not really a game. It's mostly an experience. You're just you once you run through it once, you've pretty much done it all. Like I said, I went back to try to see if there was something different you could do with it, and then there wasn't really, other than just going through the other side of it. If you don't want to do Yuri, you could do Asuki.
Right.
That's literally it. So you're still experiencing the same thing overall the same, which is kind of a shame. Whereas like an Undertale, you at least can like, you know, you can either kill everything or you can befriend everything or whatever. There's a couple different paths you can go.
A game implies that, you know, your actions actually have consequences to other shit. You know,
it's way more
terms. Yeah.
It's way more of a movie in that sense.
Yeah.
It's, again, not a bad thing. It's just a different kind of medium. It's just it's not as deep as I wanted it to be. I was like, oh, I wanted the poem thing to actually do something more than literally nothing.
No, really, I get that, because you have games, and I say games here because a lot of people have different opinions, but on I'm talking about games like Until Dawn, Fahrenheit, Man of Medan and stuff. You know, the ones which have like quick time events.
Man of Medan was terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, the stuff like that. I know. Man of Medan was terrible.
Yeah.
But it's an experience, and like again, I hate using that word to like call a game. It's kind of like saying, "Oh, my religion is not a religion; it's a way of life." Like, go fucking jump in the lake.
I wouldn't go that far. My point is that it's a singular experience. It's not like you can re-experience it different ways. I think that you mostly get the same experience every time.
It's
but
closer to
that one experience is very good and very interesting, and you can get a lot from it.
It's meant to be reflective.
It could be a book. It could be a manga. It just could, like 100% just could be a manga.
It's just not a game. My point is, I really loved where it went. Like after that first suicide happened, I was like, where is this going? And the fact that she just disappears from the game, I was like, that's awesome.
Right,
where is it going?
So this is stage 2 now. So let's just recap what happened. You're in this literature club and stuff. You eat cupcakes and stuff. You kind of
wanted to fuck Yuri. They wanted to fuck the wrong ones.
Right. Exactly.
Matter of opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, her green eyes were nice. I agree.
I didn't even notice their eyes.
What's wrong with you?
I was looking a little lower, Desi.
Yeah. Elbows.
The only weird one's Steve, clearly. He wants the girl next door, the easy option. Bullshit, happy one. It's stupid.
Well, she wasn't that happy.
I like Yuri. I like Yuri because I like that kind of girl in my video games. Like, for example, when I played Persona 4, I went with... Because it's like a half of Final Fantasy and a dating sim. I love the Persona series very much. So Persona 4, you had Yukiko, who looked exactly like Yuri.
Yeah,
and
again,
had the same personality.
Yeah, very tropey.
Yeah, and so like I tend to gravitate towards that rather than like, you know, the Natsukis and the Sayuris of this world.
The child.
Yeah, like no.
There's the child, the perfect one, and the cute one. Those are basically the 3 options.
And I don't like perfect people.
And the titty loner.
The titty loner.
That's the right option.
All right, so to recap, what we've seen so far is that you're in this literature club, everything's going swell, you form this bond with a childhood friend, ready to take it to the next level of possibly romance, and she kills herself. You walk into her room, and she doesn't show up for class, so Monica, I think, sends you away to go get her and stuff, and then she says something like hurry or whatever.
Shit, and then you go run to her house.
Yeah, she says some creepy shit. And then,
she's your responsibility or something like that.
Yeah,
you hard.
And the text below actually says you quicken your pace. So you run over to Sayori's house, the music's great, just like before. The last time you were at Sayori's house, you open the door, and actually, this is an amazing point. This game doesn't just go like, this happens, and then give you the shocker. No. It stops you mid-sentence, and the screen just changes.
That's great.
Yeah, it's just there in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
and
like
you have to go through this
before even the text can finish saying I opened the door. Like,
that's why there's trigger warnings on the.
Yeah, it's stupid because it's like it's not. They foreshower it heavily, but I mean, yeah, kids are watching it, it's still fucked up. But
exactly.
I mean,
they mature content.
Also, it's a free Steam game.
No,
you
you
have to put that up.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah. It would have been nice if there was nothing. That would have been crazy.
It would be amazing.
I loved it.
Yeah. So that happens. You see Sayori's lifeless body hanging.
And she's staring at the camera. She's like, I think
her eyes are cracked open a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely dead-eyed, yeah.
Yeah. And then a little more of like flash cuts to like zoom ins and everything like that. And like, because the game knows at that point you're like, what?
Can I actually ask what people picked? Did you guys say that you wanted to love her, or did you say you wanted to, like, I was like, I want to be friends forever.
I said love.
Okay.
I said love, but I knew that would be like I knew how either one would end.
No, I wanted to get with Yuri. So
that's exactly. I was like, I want to be honest. I'm not gonna be like trying to lead her on.
I know.
Fuck everyone.
Yeah.
I don't care if she's depressed. Fuck it. It's not my fault.
Jeez.
School.
It's just funny. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I was going to ask you about. I was really curious to know where the questions and where you guys picked was because on that stuff. And that's where I was most interested because it was like, oh, and then actually, if you think about it, in most of these classic, like, creepy harem H games where, like, the boy is loved by everyone to a creepy amount, obsessive amount, like, it would make sense that these girls would be, like, borderline psychotic, borderline suicidal. And that's where Yuri goes later on, is that she's, like, creepy stalker shit, which is great.
We're getting to that.
But it makes sense that I liked how it was tied into, like, oh, there could be, like, you know, suicidal tendencies. There could be, like, depression attached to it.
Yeah.
And I was actually hoping it would become more serious, like, oh, your actions have consequences. Your actions, like, you can make these girls commit suicide. I was like, okay.
They can do that. They could have done that.
Yeah, I would have loved it.
They could have, but at the same time, I like where it is.
No,
That would make it a game.
Yeah, it makes it tighter, honestly, the way they did it. For sure.
I like this because Dan Salvato knew what he wanted. I feel like, and I was saving this for closing thoughts, but I'm going to say it now. I like that the game is loosely about depression.
It's enough to make you talk about it, yeah.
It's also about just mania. It's about a lot of... I think this game has a lot of mental health themes in it. And I like that. Yeah, and I thought, I may be wrong, but this is my interpretation, that having no choices, even though you think you have a choice, feels a lot like anxiety, feels a lot like depression, feels a lot like being trapped and stuff. So I appreciate that this game kind of gave a vague kind of experience to someone who's not versed in mental health, for example.
And if it was focused on it, it might become like almost, you would say, like, oh, this is a game that, like, exploits it. So it's actually nice that it, like, just touches on it. It doesn't really exploit it. But again,
I chose my words very carefully because it may not even be that. But, like, I feel like that's a great move. It's kind of like how... No, we're not going to talk about Ava. But no, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, so, I would love another game that does actually do that, but you're right. It could easily be marketed as, or not marketed, but, like, branded as, like, this is a game where girls can commit suicide. Try to make them commit suicide. You know, it's like, no, it's nice that they build up this cutesy thing and then it's a dark twist for sure.
But here's the thing: Dan Salvato cannot make another game like this because the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, it's expected now.
Yeah,
of course.
It's like you watch one M. Night Shyamalan movie and you watch the next and you're already ready for the twist. Like,
and now he's a hack. Exactly.
Yeah. Like
there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's good. That's kind of what happened with Undertale.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think one of the other big things that this game does is it sort of brings awareness, especially because, like, the whole idea that, like, a lot of the things that, like, your character says or a lot of the choices they give, like, they're not, like, wrong options. Like, you're not, like, blatantly, like, the stuff he says makes sense, and
it's
like,
passive. Extremely passive.
Yeah.
It's like stuff that, like, we would think, like, oh, that's a good thing to say in response or something like that.
Your character's completely milquetoast.
Yeah,
like, it really brings, I guess, awareness. It's sort of like being able to pick up on those kind of things and just sort of, like, laying out the line that, like, hey, just because they seem like they're okay doesn't necessarily mean that they are.
Well, here's the thing. Where did you think it was going to go? Like I said, after that suicide, I was like, oh, I'm going to start either one, causing them to kill themselves, or two, like, just like, I'll try, maybe it's like a happy ending, but, like, that first step was, like, unavoidable kind of thing. Where did you guys think it was going to go after you saw that first suicide? I want to talk to Nick. I'm curious to know where. I have no idea what he thought was happening.
All right, wait, because, like, Greg and Steve and loosely I have watched anime to a certain degree in the past. More so, like, Greg and Steve are well versed in anime compared to me. Relatively to me. Nick is not an anime fan. Not an anime fan. Not you're just not into, like, Japanese media and culture and games like that. And sorry if I'm speaking for you. You can correct me if you want. But that's just the read I got from you. Like, this is completely out of your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, this is, like, left field.
Right. Yeah. And with that in mind for you guys, I will go ahead, Nick.
Where do you think it went? Yeah, where do you think it was going?
So, honestly, I wasn't expecting any of this. I knew something was going to happen at the end, and then when it did happen, I thought that was it. I thought it was just going to cut there. That was the game. It was just to freak you out for that split second.
Right.
And then
main menu.
When it starts going like this and close up of her, it's like I'm like, get it over with. What the hell?
I know.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
I thought that was it. And then it took me to the menu and I saw all those random letters and script and all that, and it's like, what is this?
And in the main menu, one character is missing.
Right.
Yes.
It's Sayori, because she just killed herself. And that's your clue into like, oh, this isn't over. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta do this shit again.
It's like when you restart the game, but it kind of like pick up the pace. You skip a couple of the small things, like meeting Sayori at her house or whatever.
The same thing again. I was like, oh my god.
It's like, I'm not writing 7 poems.
Like, fuck, I just have to play this whole thing again? Shit. But picks up.
Do you want me to get in depth with it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so whenever you get started and everything, it's like I almost thought you took over Sayori's place. Ooh. Like it was replaying the game, but you as Sayori. Because it was talking about how Monica wanted to get other members. They couldn't become a actual club without 3 members and whatnot. So I thought you were taking over that, and then you would take the perspective of her as like the replay or something.
I would be interested.
And then slowly but surely, that was fucked. That was wrong as a mother trucker.
That dimension where it never existed. But yeah, I would love a fucking simulator where they actually show the female perspective. That would be insane because I've never seen that before. It would be so
people
cool.
Need to. Like,
well, these characters are not real people. Like, I know,
but at that point, right after you finished it, to you, like you've related to like certain things about them in the past and stuff. Like, so in the guys of the game, they are real people because you're interacting with them and stuff. Because when we play a game, we personify the person we're playing as, right?
Yeah.
Just
it would be really cool.
That's basic immersion. Yeah.
For the whole like this depression like thing. So like if you were playing through her perspective and then you had his responses of you're like, oh, at the time you're like, oh, it's just a neutral response. But when you have her like her inner monologue, it'd be like, oh, he was like kind of into it. Like, why do I have to force him to do everything? Why is it like it's so hard on me? Like that's what I was kind of like saying with the whole like if you wanted to go intense depression, like sad shit, that's where you could go with it. And that's an interesting idea. You could definitely take it there.
You hear that, Dan? There we go.
See it on it.
Doki Doki Part 2.
Again, it would be less of a like really concrete narrative. Like I think the AI thing was very interesting and a different way to take it and very clever, very sci-fi, cool. Like still makes you think about everything while touching on everything, which is cool.
All right. So we're gonna talk about stage 2 now. What happens right after? So we already discussed what happens in the first run through of the game that you think it's over. Yeah. And the second half of the game, you start, and instead of Sayori, because Sayori's dead, you wander into the literature club. Into the room.
It restarts the game as if she was never there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You meet
but you're
Monica.
Still the same stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So now Monica takes place of Sayori and is kind of guiding you through the intro parts of the game, basically. This is a literature club and everything like that, and also. Yes, Sayori doesn't exist in that universe anymore, but there are mentions of a 4th girl.
And there's glitches occasionally. It keeps you uncomfortable basically the entire. And you've already been unsettled by the image. At least on about you guys, but I finished it in that one like sitting. Yeah. So it's still in the back of your head the whole time. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
That just happened.
Yeah, and they keep flashing it. They keep flashing weird images. They show characters more like their eyes get weirder and stuff. They keep fucking with you basically the whole time.
So I'm going to assume that whoever's watching this has already played the game. Because up until this point, we've already ruined most of it. So I'll just say this. At the end, it's basically a computer simulation or whatever and stuff. So there's going to be glitches. And Monica has the only admin host access.
And she also loves you, weirdly enough.
Obsessed with you.
Yeah.
Which is
that's her purpose.
Fucking crazy. So now there's glitches because when you take one brick out of the house, a lot of other shit's gonna the butterfly effect basically.
Yeah, and you find out that Monica was the one manipulating her like feelings and stuff. Sayori's she made her more depressed because I mean in the normal game it's almost out of nowhere where she's like, oh, I'm super depressed. She's like, oh, there was no foreshadowing other than like maybe a little bit in her poems, but like that was basically out of nowhere.
Yeah, and you just assumed that it's stuff in their past that wasn't explained in the game, so you're just like, okay, yeah.
But later, Monica explains that she just ramped up her depression. She ramps up Yori's like weird obsessive stalker stuff because later Yori becomes more creepy and obsessed with you. At least in my playthrough, again, that's what I got.
It's universal. Yeah. It's universal.
So But it makes me, at least it makes you feel like, oh, because at this point I was like, oh, I'm gonna try. I was like, should I try to save Yuri by paying attention to Monica? Because clearly she's got some kind of weird control over all this.
Yeah.
Or should I just say fuck it and go all in Yuri, my girl, and then she's gonna commit suicide, but she's gonna suicide for me. I was like, I'm doing that. That sounds awesome. And so I just completely leaned into it, and then she got creepy, and she stabbed herself in front of me, which was awesome.
So at this
badass
point,
move.
all the characters. Now we have Monica, we have Natsuki, and we have Yuri. Yuri and Natsuki start acting a little more forward with their instabilities and their emotions.
The second way through, yeah.
Yeah. Monica is fucking deadpan. The same thing. You can notice stuff where she kind of alludes to this being like a simulation. But you're not pretty... Because, shit's fucked, but you don't know that where it's still headed.
Fucked, yeah.
Where it's going at that point. So Monica...
I still thought it was still in, like, reality for the most part.
Yeah. And also, you, as the person in the game, is just going with this.
You have to.
You really don't have control over any of it.
Right. It's really good deal.
Which
you just
I
click.
found...
Keep clicking.
Yeah, you just keep clicking. And I found that more, really unsettling.
It just happens to you.
You know?
You want to see how it ends? Keep
That was a
going.
departure from me so this is me, Dayaan, playing this game and my character and stuff, and that was just like, wait. Like,
Did you guys name your character yourself?
No. Whatever.
I gave it my Steam name.
Oh yeah, what was your character's name? What was your character's name?
It's
It's always
Greg.
gonna be Bella. It's always gonna be Bella. Like,
Mine was Elite.
Yeah, yourself, yeah.
Your name was Y.
why?
That's weird.
Hello,
Why?
why?
Creative.
That's a man play a lot of
That's such a
anime
Game
crap.
Grumps thing to do. Soon. But so this happens, and now if you thought Sayori hanging herself was fucking weird, oh boy, are you in for a treat? Because a lot of things happen in this.
I was loving it at this
second half
point.
of the
I was
game.
loving it because it's off the rails.
Yeah, and I don't like jump scares. I prefer.
Is it jump scary?
There weren't let me finish.
Okay.
I don't like jump scares like that first and foremost.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Well, one thing I hate more than jump scares is interrupted kind of scares.
Oh, that's most of
Where
it after
everything's
that.
just going normal. So at least with the jump scare, the music changes and stuff. It kind of ramps you up. There's a ramp, like
They're
a roller
big.
coaster. This game literally fucking 90-degree verticals you up and then like immediately drops.
Yeah,
you down.
when like the glitch of something fucked up just pops up real quick and then goes away, and you're like, well,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I wasn't really bothered by it because like I had been pretty fucked with that point, and it's not. They don't like flash to like fucked up imagery or anything. It's just like something to mess with you, just to keep you uneasy. Just basically what.
Well, see, I got so unsettled by like the first half of the second playthrough. I actually put my headset like up on my head
There you go.
because I didn't want to hear the change. I didn't want to hear like the quick little the music going fuck. When you're sitting down on the floor and you're reading with Natsuki, and her eyes do
getting
that
that.
black.
Okay, wait.
It was Yuri for me.
I'm
It was
getting
Yuri.
to that.
It was Yuri.
So I want to talk about the next step. Sorry to cut you off, Nick, but that's literally
you're good, you're
what
good.
we're going to talk
How you
about.
messing with that little?
Do your thing.
Come on, what are you
Okay.
doing?
3 words. I want to hear how you guys react to this. Natsuki neck snap.
Oh,
Remember,
I got it.
You're just talking to her, and like Nick said, her eyes start going fucking crazy. The text gets all garbled. She starts talking about how her dad will fucking kill her if she had her manga collection and stuff. That was like, oh my god! I don't think I can play this anymore.
I didn't get
Yeah.
that. I didn't get that at all. I got
didn't
the
get that
Yuri
at all?
It was all
so
Yuri.
what was yours?
I got both.
Yuri
somehow.
was well. I
I
mean,
just got
2
not-
days.
We'll get to Yuri.
Yeah,
Oh,
but she's
okay.
all
So,
about the
Greg.
nines and stuff. Yeah.
So I guess there's a choice where you pick either of them, maybe.
I think it's based
somehow.
on the poem. I think it's based on the poem.
It's probably based on the poem. So that's the only choice so far that we are 100% sure. I'm actually glad you had a different experience.
I had Yuri as well on the
Yeah?
second one.
All right, so
Oh,
Nick
yeah.
and I had... Well, I had both
That's
somehow. I did play the game again.
Did you have Yuri when it cuts to like she like goes away to do something and then it cuts
Yeah,
to her
yeah.
wrist being all cut up?
Yeah, I got
Well,
that. Wait.
no, I did not get that.
No, because
There you go.
yeah, because Nick and I in the beginning had Natsuki. So here's what happens: you're talking to Natsuki. She says that about like her manga collection. It's the same scene as before. You're sat down on the floor with her, all this stuff. You know, her head falls into your like whatever,
See, I didn't see any of this. Yeah.
and then literally her eyes start getting these spinning black circles, and like it's kind of garbled and everything.
Awesome.
The text goes fucking nuts,
And it puts this weird mouth on her at one point that kind of
Yeah.
like folds open and all that as
Yeah.
it's sitting there doing this.
I didn't get
It's
this at all.
crazy.
It's great.
It freaked me out the most.
So I've
Right
seen
there.
both scenes. If Yuri's was creepy, Natsuki is fucking scary.
No, that sounds great.
Yeah. So and like mid sentence, her neck just fucking snaps.
Yeah, you
Okay,
see a full body picture of her,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden her just,
That's great.
and then the picture slams into your screen, and I instantly, type of thing. Like I clicked away, I looked away for a second, I had
Awesome.
to step. It freaked me the fuck out.
'Cause
First.
Yuri's is way more tamer. Because Yuri's just like her wrists get all cut up and her eyes get more intense, like
Yeah.
creepy, weird, intense.
Where she's like, her eyes are open and she,
Yeah.
type thing.
So since I think half of us
That's
had
cool.
different experiences and stuff, I'll ask reactions afterwards. Now let me explain Yuri's. So Yuri has this weird thing where she kind of like gets like it's like a Doki Doki, a heartbeat, and it's like the music's gone, and she just gets kind of closer and closer to you and stuff, right? Correct me if
Yes.
I'm wrong. Yeah,
No, you're right.
and that it just gets like this creeping, like it's creeping death. Like it's kind of creepy,
Yeah.
kind of lures in and stuff. I haven't played it in a long time, so I'm gonna let Greg or Steve, whichever, like whoever, if you want to explain.
It's unsettling because it's not instant. That's
It's not
the-
instant. It's a creeping thing.
It's subtle at first, yeah. Like her eyes like bug out once, like the first day, and you're like, oh, okay, that was fucking weird. But at least you click, because I'm clicking pretty fast, because I can read pretty
She has
fast.
this
I'm
like
okay.
ahegao kind of
Yeah.
face. Yeah.
But the second time it happens, she goes all in, like creepy, weird shit. And I'm like, I'm into this.
Yeah.
So, okay, sure. Where's it going? And that's when she commits suicide in front of you, which is brutal as fuck. So, did you get Natsuki committing suicide in front of you, or do you also
Natsuki
get
did.
Yuri stabbing herself?
Natsuki didn't commit suicide in my playthrough.
So Yuri stabbed herself.
Yeah.
Okay,
In fact,
so maybe
for
that might be
me-
unavoidable.
For me, Natsuki just gets deleted.
They all get deleted. Yeah, the
Yeah.
second run.
But so in that run, Natsuki gets deleted first instead.
Yeah, I don't know how she would like break her own neck though. But again, that's an
No,
interesting.
like she it just like went
Right,
down.
right. But I'm saying like that's like if the character started talking to me about how like her father doesn't agree with her like whatever, and that her watching anime and being all cutesy is actually against her family's wishes.
Yeah.
Like that is way beyond what I would expect most like animes to do.
Yeah,
Like, that would,
I
in
know.
itself would be an interesting concept to explore. Like I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Again, that's why I was excited for the whole like suicidal girl depression kind of angle it was going for. I'm like, this is fascinating. I would love to see this. It's a great twist on the classic trope, and the fact that they didn't go all the way. I was like, damn. But again, great game, great experience.
Oh yeah. Also, Monica. So after the Natsuki thing, Monica actually pulls you aside and now, you remember in the first playthrough, Yuri wants you to stay behind so she can talk with you and stuff, and Monica's just like this third wheel, just hanging like, and they're going through this like kind of clerical talk, like, well, I'm the president of the club, so I gotta be the last to leave, and then Yuri's just like, yeah, but I'm also like vice president, so like I just really need to discuss this book.
Battling
that-
over you. You feel like
Which in the
more-
first playthrough was Sayori, mind you.
right.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she was the
Actually,
vice.
oh, maybe that's another. No, because I never got Sayori in my playthrough. It was Yuri. Because I guess I was leaning towards Yuri. I got her. So maybe there are
Oh.
certain choices that matter.
It's small theme differences for sure.
But they're just aesthetic things. Like,
Yeah,
that's-
but
The order was Yuri and then Natsuki.
It ends up that they both, Yuri and Natsuki, go away, and it's just you and Monica at a certain point, and then she
Yeah.
finally reveals to you that she's been controlling everything from the beginning, and she's also fallen in love with you, and she's
Yeah.
self-aware. She's self-aware that she's in this game, that's all been a game, and like, but she recognized that you, the player, is real, and that's attracted to her.
Yes. Now,
Agreed.
did
Yeah.
you guys, when she started talking, did she say something about, and don't you go by go by, and then actually say your fucking name?
Yeah, she pulled out a very specific like personal thing, which was tied to I think like through Steam or
I
whatever.
want to say Steam, but it
Yeah.
freaked me out.
No, that was great.
That's when my heart like skipped a beat. I froze. I was like, "Do I need to delete this? What the
You start
fuck
doing
is
it.
going on?"
She starts foreshadowing that like, oh, I deleted their characters. I deleted them through the Steam's local
Yeah.
folder where the characters are.
Yeah. But wait, early on in the game, actually, not early on, midway through the game, Monica. So the whole premise of the game is a literature club, right? So you write poetry and you share it, and everyone reads their own, bullshit. Monica, and when it's time for you to read Monica's poem, I don't know if you guys caught this, but there's a poem she gives you called "Save Me."
Oh yeah, I think it's the last one she writes.
Yeah, and then you're
You
reading
believe-
it. It's just it's
Oh, it's insane.
it's fucking poetry. But
It's madness.
the last line is "delete her."
Yeah,
So she gives you a clue as to like how this is all going to end. How,
which is great through poetry because it doesn't come off as literal. Yeah.
And I love that that's one of the few times you're actually in control of the game. Because we spoke
Are you?
earlier about how linear it is and how little choice and how all your choices have no effect on the end and stuff. But you're given this choice, and that's why I like when she actually tells you, the player, to save the game. She's trying to like drive you out of being immersed into your character and personifying your character, and trying to she's trying to get you to kind of like understand that no, you're in this.
It's
you.
very fourth wall breaking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which becomes in play later, which is good because if they just throw that out of nowhere, it would be more jarring. So the fact that they plant those little seeds makes it at least like acceptable.
Yeah.
It's not like absurd. It's like, oh yeah, of course, she did seem a little weird from the get go. Sure.
Also, at some point doing the Sayori playthrough, like not the playthrough, nothing weird happens in the first one.
The second time through.
The screen changes and like that's like the screen just keeps sliding and you see Sayori's face.
Oh yeah, it reminds me
Yeah.
that he's
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's fucking
Or when it says you unlock a special poem, and it shows Sayori like cartoon
That's it,
drawn
that's it.
hanging there.
that's
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
great.
that was something.
I loved it.
fucking jarring.
Loved it.
You crazy?
Got me, game. Keep it going.
You're crazy with this one, Jay.
Yeah, because
But-
it makes me feel like it was. To me, it was like again, it was affecting my gameplay. The second thread too. It's like, oh, remember this? She's dead, and it's your fault. They really were trying to like make it seem like it was your fault. Like I wasn't. I mean, obviously, I was like, okay, come on, I couldn't do anything
Yeah, I
to
know.
stop it. Even though I picked the option that basically killed her.
Yeah.
But I mean, either one had killed her. But like, I picked the one that was like the least likely to help her, kind of thing.
Right.
I was like, she's dead. It's fine. Whatever.
So yeah, in the end, what happens is Monica is like, okay, now you understand, and she like it's like alligator teeth, man. Like she's so calm through everything, and then,
Psychopath. Yeah.
Yeah, it's classic psycho.
She removes everyone
psychomania.
else, the two of you talking in a one-on-one. It's like kind of weird.
Yeah.
And you see the command box prompt pop up,
Yeah.
and you see her actually like type in the command to
Using
delete
control, yeah.
these characters.
So she Thanos slaps the other two girls out, and then the screen goes dark, and you're just in this room you've never seen before. You're just hanging out with her, and she's like looking up at you, like she's like this or something. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just the two of you, and then something beautiful happens. I love this part of the game because she goes on this spiel about how no one deserves you except for her. There's other girls who are just props and everything like that. And that's why you ran the simulation so many times, whatever, like, and becomes this like big brain computer thing. So what you do after that is remember that poem, save me, delete her. You go into your Steam files, dude.
You have to.
Your
open it,
actual
you alt
files.
you fucking,
Did you not?
You
So
close
I
the
did-
game.
I did two different things.
What did you do?
I kept clicking through it and just kind of listening, and eventually came to the conclusion that I'm bored of this.
Yeah, that's what I
I'm
did.
tired of hearing her rambling.
Yeah.
Because every time the chat or the text is really slow, and then she says what she needs to say,
Yeah.
and then she sits
Wait,
there,
wait.
and it just goes
wanna
back
say-
to this.
She does, which I love, because when I first opened the game, I knew it was this kind of clicker game. I immediately changed the text speed immediately because I was like, of course, it's gonna be a lot of talking. I'm gonna make this go as fast as possible. And I love, no, this is genius. I love that she changes that. She makes it way slower, so
Yeah.
you have to listen to her.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to like read it out. I'm like, that is so smart because it changes like your whole perspective of it. You're like, oh, okay, she's in control. I have to watch her talk.
Yeah.
Damn it. Sorry, it's a small thing, but I totally noticed that.
No, no,
Like, oh my god, it's way slower. Her talking.
You're right. It's crazy. And
Smart.
I kept going, and then she labels off these different type of people that there are, and then she puts those characters that are in the game to these labels. Like, Yaninde or something is something who, I don't know what she calls or how to pronounce that. It's probably wrong. I'm so sorry, but it's
Erase.
like an obsessive person who will do anything it takes to be with this single person.
Sure.
It's like an obsessive thing, and she even blatantly says it's some people's turn on to have somebody so obsessive over you, for some whatever reason. And after that, I actually closed the game just to see what it would do. Popped it back open, and she sits there and goes, "Oh wait, what happened?"
Oh, wait. I love that. When you close the game at that point, like Nick did, when you open it up again, there's no menu.
No, it goes straight back to where you were.
Right. You
Great.
double click that application, you open it up on Steam or whatever, and you go right there.
Real
right
quick.
there, and she's looking right at you again.
Did
As
you
if,
guys
as
play-
if you just left the room and walked back in. Like what?
Who didn't play Undertale?
I haven't.
Okay, I was gonna say because that's such a great. Undertale also uses this like thing where it's like they understand that they can control if you close the game or not, and like that's such a great like way to have the
No,
experience
it's
be
good.
different.
You need to play Undertale.
It's cool. Anyway, so they take advantage of that because like they don't let you change it up. It's awesome.
It's
Program.
She says something along the line like, "Where'd you go?" or "What was that?" It felt like I was dying on the inside.
Jesus.
I felt like I died a little bit.
Again,
but then you came back to me.
The
Or
obsession
something like
trope.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I went into my files.
So you have to. You got to progress because that's
So
why I was
yeah.
it became the same thing over and over again. It's
So,
like okay,
The game makes you go into the files, and this is when I really got chills. And I wasn't
Really?
even in the game.
I wanted to delete
I
her.
went to the directory, and I went to the game files, and I think there's a folder named girls
As characters,
Characters, and then it
You
just...
open it, and there's
Delete that
folders
bitch.
of all the girls.
take her down. No, it was just her. I think.
No, it was just her at the
At that
very
point,
end.
yeah,
It was just
but-
Monica.
So here's the thing: in the begin, if you redo the game, if you restart, delete the game, reinstall it, they're all there.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was...
That's actually interesting. I wanted to see what it would be like if you delete like.
I haven't tried
three or
that.
something.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, after I finished, I don't want to spoil anything, but I looked up on Wikipedia and whatnot, and apparently, if you delete her too early, something changes.
That's
Apparently,
interesting.
you can alter it a little bit.
I'll have
There's
to do that.
like 1 or 2 different endings that you can come up with.
Damn it! I gotta.
I
redo
didn't
it.
know that.
Now
Well,
I'm
I don't know
not
about like
blaming
the end result or anything like that. I think you still get Monica, but I think it was hinting at there is a possible change that you can do
it. Yeah.
if you delete her a little earlier or wait a little
That's
bit and then
clever.
delete her.
So
Like
what
if you
hap-
catch on.
Yeah. So listeners, like by now you've already pieced it together. To actually beat the game, you have to go into your directory in the game files and everything. You have to go to characters, double click, and you have to delete literally physically, not physically, well in the computer.
On the
Delete
computer.
a folder.
I went
her
into
folder.
the
You have to
Punch
delete.
the folder out.
Yeah. Just keep fucking. You
Get
have to
snap her
delete.
dead.
You have to delete the Monica folder, and that's how you kill her.
Which is sweet.
Yeah.
But if you have the game open when you do it, she reacts.
Oh really?
Really?
Yeah, she sits there
didn't
and
know
goes,
that.
"Oh,
I didn't
what's
know either.
going on?" or something like that.
Oh, no, no,
and she,
God.
She does the same when you. Log
Oh,
back
okay,
in, I
okay.
think.
Oh, does she?
Oh, okay. No,
That goes
I
to
kept that bitch open and I did it right there. I wanted to stare her in the eyes like, "You going down, honey?"
You liked her. You were the one who wanted to bang her.
Yeah, but damn, psycho ass, get the fuck away from me.
But then Sayori becomes the psycho ass. It's crazy.
But that's it. That is Doki Doki.
No.
Literature Club.
No. Because once you
sure.
delete her, it restarts.
Yeah.
And it restarts. And you're like, okay, it's all back to normal.
She
then
feels
suddenly-
bad
Oh,
for
I
what
didn't-
she did.
Yeah, she has
and
the whole
she
spiel.
resets the whole thing.
She has a whole spiel that,
Right,
oh,
yeah, I remember.
actually loving you would be let it all happen. And then whatever happens, you pick, you know, the classic thing. You're like, oh, she's turned her a leaf or whatever. And then you play through, and suddenly Sayori becomes such the weird, creepy one who's self-aware.
I didn't know that. I didn't play that far.
Oh,
Yeah, if you
no.
play it again, she really okay. So she becomes the self-aware one, and then Monica has to shut it down. She's like, okay, I know that this game will always be like this as long as there's someone who becomes the self-aware one.
So it's fate.
And then the game shuts itself off. You guys didn't get this?
No,
I didn't
no.
keep going.
Look,
You
As
get
soon
a
as it
final-
reset, I was like, "Ah, fuck it."
You get a
Right.
final letter where she sends you a letter and it's like, oh, okay, now I know that whoever is in this is going to be self-aware, and I'm not okay with that. So now it's like a final letter, like poem thing, and it says like, yeah, now I'm going to shut down and you're done, basically. So then you have to literally uninstall the game and reinstall it with the new file.
Yeah, to reset it.
And that
I
makes it
didn't know
really-
that.
Yeah.
That's Wild.
If you redo it, Sayori becomes the one because there's no Monica. It's just the three of them without Monica.
Oh
And-
my
And then
god.
Sayori becomes like Monica because she's then becomes self-aware, and she's like, "I'm no longer okay with Yuri in this one because I now realize that me and you should be in love." And it's like, yikes. So it was a weird little twist for sure. Keep you going.
And how about the final song? This is the first time you actually hear a voice.
That was great.
And
That
it's
was great.
Monica.
That was very good. That it really tied together like the feelings I felt for the game, because I remember the first playthrough when Sayori dies, and after she dies, it resets, and you're like, I kind of miss when it was happy-go-lucky, which is weird because I hated it. It was super boring. It was like, this is shit. But once it was gone, I was like, oh, I kind of miss it. And it came back a little bit. It was like, oh, it's all good. Don't worry. And there was like not many glitches going on. I was like, oh, it's normal again. And then glitch would happen or something fucked up would happen. I'm like, oh, it's fucked. So the fact that when it actually would kind of return to normalcy was nice.
Sorry, really quick. If you listen to this podcast, the song I'm talking about is playing right now.
Okay.
What the fuck?
They gave Monica a voice, and it's just a cute normal voice, and she's like talking. It's
That
it's
you
very
would
nice.
never think that that's Monica. Like,
No,
I didn't hear this.
really.
what?
I didn't hear it either.
The music or
Yeah.
the
You
voice.
guys been playing the fucking game.
So just me listening to the song and knowing
Goddamn
about the
coward.
song, I probably did exactly what Greg had done.
Yeah.
But it's been like years since I played it. Or 2 years, I think. So I didn't remember it.
You played to the very end, probably.
Yeah.
That's when I think it's after the time you restart it, and it's just the three of them without Monica, and then she shuts it down, and then she sings a song, and it's just like, I mean, it's just cute and adorable.
How soon does that shutdown happen?
It's pretty soon in there. You play for a little bit, only like I think it's like 1 day, and then Sayori goes haywire. So again, that's what I appreciated when the game reset, and I literally thought the game was gonna reset completely, with just without the character. I was like, this is gonna take another hour of my life away. Fuck. But it does burn through it quickly enough, and you can skip, and where it's effective. Like I replayed the first time replaying it, you could skip certain scenes, and I took advantage of that constantly.
I only used skip once.
There's
That
one
was
point, which you might not have had. Maybe I got this separately because I was skipping more. But there's a part where it literally locks you in a skip. You skip and it goes infinitely until you stop skipping. Did you guys?
Yeah,
get
when Yuri,
yeah.
right after Yuri kills herself and she's sitting,
Right.
she's on the desk.
The 3
It
days.
takes you through the day span through the
3
weekend.
days. Yeah. I guess it wasn't infinite, but yeah, it was a long fucking time. I thought it was.
Yeah,
like,
that was disturbing as fuck.
that was clever.
I find it really interesting that we had different experiences. I mean, there's 2 different
Slightly,
experiences so far. But that's really weird. And
I want to see the next snap. God damn it! I missed that.
honestly, just look it up on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Natsuki Next Snap. Like, it'll be there.
Yeah.
But that's
Over and
really
over,
crazy.
yeah.
So all this time I thought the game was like purely linear.
I mean, it is, but yeah, it's enough to make it. It's just enough to keep it so we can talk about it and stuff. Which is great. That's great.
But, wow, like what a I don't want to say game, but like what a creation.
Experience.
No, I'm not saying
Journey.
experience.
Experience.
Not saying
It's
experience.
the right word. Come on.
Fuck that. Back to my beans.
Back to the bean.
I think experience is good. And there's nothing wrong with experience. I think that's completely fair.
Sweet.
Justified.
beans.
But yeah, it's good for free. I mean, for free, why not?
It's a free game, so if you want the game, if you want to know what the fuck we've been talking about for an hour, it's Doki Doki's free on Steam. And
So
that's
what
the
is
thing.
everyone? I was gonna say, what's everyone's overall impression? Like, what did they like get out of it? I'm gonna hear Nick, of course.
You want me to go first or
Yeah,
last?
you have no experience. I don't
You
know
want me to go
where you're coming from.
So, I am absolutely blown away. I have never thought that a game would interact with the person playing and the character that you portray so much. I never thought something would take such weird turns but keep me drawn in. It was so weird. And what sucked even more, I knew I had to come, like, I played like an hour of it or whatever, and I got up to the point where you were helping somebody after school. And at the time, I was helping Natsuki with cupcakes or something. And then I messaged Greg about where I was because that was the only time I hit save. I saved it right there because I was jumping off to go to sleep for work and whatnot. And Greg says, "Oh, you're right at the first halfway point where something big happens." And I came home today after work to finish it for the podcast, and I had to sleep after this. And I couldn't get to sleep right away. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm watching like Parks and Rec, trying to fall asleep, closing my eyes, and I'm seeing these like glitches and whatnot of the game that I just played, and it shook me. It was crazy.
That's what you want.
I was not expecting this at all. I thought it would be something like goofy and like it was kind of like a meme or something.
That's great.
But I was blown away. Like, oh.
So you happy you played it?
Yeah, was it good?
I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I'm so glad that I experienced something different, but I don't know if I'm happy that was the experience.
It made you feel something.
Like, you could have had something a little more positive to start us off, huh?
But it would have been boring.
That's so dark, but damn.
It would have been boring.
But holy cow, it was... If you don't play it, you're not going to understand what the hell we're talking about. For the journey it takes you. It is something else.
Well, I mean, the thing about... I'll save my thoughts for after. Steve, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, so, I mean, in general, I liked it. I think, like, it definitely, like, fucked me up for the rest of, like, the afternoon. It's one of those games.
I don't know.
Well, I guess a lot of it, like, hit really close to home, because, like, I've known a lot of people like that.
That's true.
And like it's just really like, I mean, it's a great game at sort of portraying those kind of aspects of people and like the whole idea behind. I mean, I thought the whole like, you know, breaking the fourth wall thing was like okay. Like that wasn't really what brought me into the game. It was more just the entire like way they approached the subject matter and like the whole concept of like the poems and how that progressed.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot better, in my opinion. But no, I think yeah, it's really one of those games that makes you think. So it's not so much whether you liked it or you didn't like it. It's more like they don't really care, right? They just want you to think.
Yeah. It's more about the tone and everything. That's why I was hoping it would be just about that. That was the most interesting part for sure. But it would have been a really heavy topic to try to tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I feel like, are you hosting this or am I?
I just like talking to you.
No, that's fine. All right. No, thank you though. But you actually raised a lot of cool questions.
Fuck. Drink your beans. Savage.
All right. Now that I'm fibered up,
we should have written poems.
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
20 words or whatever.
No. How did this get played? Another podcast I'm a huge fan of already did that approach.
Yeah, true.
I think it's very important to play this game cold. Now I understand that now that you've heard this podcast, you're not going to be able to play it cold because we
ruined the experience.
Ruined everything. So. But I may put a note below, like saying, play the game first, listen to this later.
Spoiler alerts.
Yeah, but if you have...
Also, trigger warning.
It's a good example of that, because like a lot of things you can just have the spoilers, like fine, but this is like, it's pretty much the meaning and the crux of it, which is weird.
It is the crux of it.
It's not typically about it, but it's still like, it's
you have to start not knowing what to expect.
Yeah. It's very important.
Like, I played it under the perfect circumstances. Like, Chris played me beautifully. Like, it was like a 2-year-long game, you know? Just getting to play it. And I did. And like I was like, all right, let's just fucking play this shit. So I did, and it blew me away. Like it really got. And the thing about me consuming media is I get very immersed. I allow myself to get very immersed into things in general. So when I played Doki Doki Literature Club, I hated it at the beginning.
Fury, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fell in love.
Where's the lie? But then it took a turn like that. It's such a polar opposite from that to where it ended up. You know?
Yeah.
So I was shook to the point where I had definite like admiration. Like, you know, man, if you screw me this way, like hats off to you. That's fucking amazing. I loved it. I love Doki Doki Literature Club. I'll say it out loud.
It really makes you think that there is potential to take this. Well, which I thought was a horrific game style. Like that style I hate. Those games are terrible.
Right.
But like this game made me think that you can make good games with this style if you use it to your advantage. Like that slow burn into something more important. Like I actually cared about the characters. I was like, I want to fuck Yuri. Like I want her to not kill herself in front of me. Oh fuck, he's doing that. Great. Well, what can you do?
Fuck the rest, Yuri.
I was all bored of Yuri. I was told I would sacrifice all of them for Yuri. But, man, I'm team Yuri all the way. That was
I'll
my
delete
plan.
all the characters.
Either I was gonna have her on my side, or I was gonna have her kill them all for me. I was like, "Come on, girl, do it." But
So
unfortunately,
I think this is a very important game. I'm using game very loosely here because games today are very. There's nothing to them. Like once you know the
Not very
controls,
deep.
no.
Cookie cutter.
Yeah,
very
quick.
cookie cutter, very template kind of driven.
Boring.
And
There's no theme or lesson to be learned or discussion
I wanna-
after.
Yeah.
I want to posit that it's actually sad that it takes something like this to kind
Yeah.
of shake you now in 2020. And this game wasn't even released in 20. It was like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. So well, you guys can look it up. Like it's sad that this is where we're at. You know. Like,
But at least it's great that you can have something like this where it's like one guy made it. It got on
course.
Steam. It became huge. It's
Yeah.
free.
Mhm.
It's like we could just play it, drop of a hat. That's amazing and
I know.
awesome.
I love it. I love it, and I also hate it at the same time.
Hopefully, it made a lot of money somehow.
My experience with Doki Doki was like me watching Midsummer for the first time. Like that game fucked me up.
Movie.
Doki Doki didn't fuck me up, but it really made me think and want to converse about it. Unfortunately, at the time, nobody I knew had played the game apart from Chris, and Chris had already forgotten about. Oh, like Chris and I have an odd relationship. Like we'll joke about a lot of things and stuff, but Doki Doki, it was just Chris, so I could talk to you about it. But I wanted like more opinions. Like I wanted to like have a roundtable thing without having to kind of go on an internet forum because like I fucking hate that shit. You know,
Right.
I'm not gonna do that.
It's nice to have something. I think when you get older, you like having just something that makes you feel something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
any kind of visceral reaction is like it's nice and different. Because when you get older, you're like, oh, I've seen this, I've seen this, I've seen this.
Right. Your
And then when
mind
someone
already
surprises
knows the
you-
path.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, where's this going? Now I'm interested for sure.
There's a lot
Yeah.
more to relate to the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now-
something deeper.
Going off what Steve just said, let me ask this: what was the first thought as soon as you finished the game?
I'm gonna look up Rule 34 of Yuri,
Oh my god!
and I did,
No,
and it was glorious.
was it?
Dayaan.
It's everything I just said. I was blown away. I think it was more of a feeling of I'm glad I went through it, which is why I talked about Midsummer, because I'm glad I went through it, but I will never watch the movie again.
Yeah, that's kind of how it feels. Yeah,
You know?
it's
Yeah.
like
I will
and I was
never-
feeling like the potential of it. Like it could have been
Yeah.
something really serious and really interesting.
Yeah,
Instead, it was kind of like it just kind of like shallow touched it, but it was still good, better than nothing. But
the whole basis of Doki Doki is formed out of one trick. Once you've seen that trick, like you're not going to forget the rest, you know? Like there is no rest. Like it's one trick. Once you reach that point in the game, you put your helmet on and you're ready to go down. Yeah. So it's like since you know where it is, it's going to take like years. And even then, you're only going to notice like new nuances. Like that's it. I will never play Doki Doki again. Actually, now that Nick actually brought up where deleting certain characters may yield different results,
You won't play it again.
I may.
You give it a test run.
I may.
haven't you guys seen Requiem for a Dream?
Yeah.
It's kind
I've
of
heard of it.
Yeah.
It's super depressing. Like it's the
very
most depressing
depressing.
movie I've ever seen.
It's
It's
got-
like horrific.
It's got
But
Jay,
it's a
Jay
beautiful
Leto
movie.
in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful movie.
When he was actually a good actor.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it's legitimately horrific. It's like what happens to you if you take drugs that are like really bad and can ruin your life, basically. But it's a visceral experience that is worth watching. But it's like I do not want to watch that again for a while.
I feel the same about a lot of
So I
movies.
got it.
Midsummer's one, Requiem for a Dream is one. Enter the Void is definitely one. It's again another drug related
Yeah.
movie. Never watching this shit again. I'm never playing Doki Doki again. I don't like stuff that makes me sad. You know.
Well, it's good.
Yeah.
You need it once in a while.
All right. How many times have you guys watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
I love that movie many times.
I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah, it's not that depressing.
That movie makes me so fucking sad. I hate it.
Really?
Yeah, I can't.
It's basically about how relationships can fail, but
I think I relate to it too much.
It has a true, but it's got a pretty like bright ending, I would say. I don't know.
I've never heard of it.
Sorry, we're talking about this movie that you might not know. Okay,
it's a very good movie. It's
Jim Carrey.
It's
Actually,
a Jim Carrey movie.
Actual good acting role.
Yeah.
He's actually not playing like a psychopath weirdo.
He was amazing in it. Yeah.
It's very good.
Really.
Watch the movie. It's got Frodo in it.
Oh yeah, it does have Bilbo.
And the Hulk. And Scarlet. No, it's got what's her face? The other one. Oh.
Kate Winslet. I think?
No.
No, who's the?
Starts with a D. Fuck. I don't know. Don't worry. About it. No. Anyways.
Yeah, it's got executive director Dick Wolf in it.
Great game. Probably not going to play it for a while because I don't think it's that
Rock Johnson.
Good experience.
Yeah.
Steve, what did you get of it?
I just kind of like sat there for like 10 minutes, just kind of like reflecting. I mean, like, and just sort of like playing back like day one, and like sort of through that because it really like because as I played through, I was sort of like in sort of a suspension of belief sense. I was kind of like investing myself in the characters to like really like read into what they were saying and try to like get the full understanding. And there's a lot there, and it's really it was really interesting.
Yeah, of all of us, I feel like you would take it the most seriously right off the bat.
Yeah,
you get invested, which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, you want that diverse amount of people. Like some people can't get into anime, but some people like they really love it and they really get into it. So
well, I mean, it's like nothing in the like how the game itself progressed actually like struck an anime chord with me.
Well, there you go.
The only thing that struck an anime chord was just like the characters' faces, like personas.
They're
Yeah.
perfect for sure.
Wait,
like
can I ask
the actual like content of like the behind the curtain stuff they were talking about? It was very much like non-anime, like super serious.
I want to ask Steve a question about that. Like being
resident expert.
I was gonna say a well-seasoned anime veteran.
You can call me a weeb, I can take it.
that.
Yeah, I feel like because like if I was well versed in anime and stuff, I would see that as unsettling as well when they're not following the natural tropes of an anime or whatever.
Yeah, well, I want to be careful because it's like because I'd say this was a very serious topic, a very like I think anime more so is just the way it was presented.
It's the second half.
Oh, it's
First half is the skin.
Like, I don't think, and I mean maybe it's just kind of like diluted for me because I do watch anime.
Yeah,
but
you might be too deep.
Like
it's normal.
It's normal.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying because like. Go ahead.
But just a lot of like they're very like it's very real because anime is usually very like cartoony and sort of like taking things over the top to some degree, but and
further for sure.
Like very brief moments are like actually over the top and like crazy.
And this is more under the tail.
Yeah, this is more like under the hood. Like there's a lot of subtlety and like build up.
Yeah, maybe I'm the expert in
stuff.
I might be the expert in these kinds of games because I played a lot of these. And this is standard for these kind of games where it's like you have the quiet character, you have the eccentric, small, angry
archetypes.
Character. There's the archetypes and the stereotypical parts.
Yeah, and the writing is again, it's like, oh, I'm sorry. This is I've gone too far. It's a lot of that.
But that's only the outer.
They nailed that. They nailed it perfectly, and they were supposed to. They were trying to do that. That's what they did.
I feel like sometimes they were a little ham-fisted because they had this blatant tsundere thing in there. It's not like I wanted you to like my cupcakes or something like with Natsuki.
Yeah, like the forced conflict over
those
things. It's classic.
But the thing is, the game is self-aware because right after that scene, your character says, "This kind of reminds me of something."
Exactly.
I think that's another of the interesting things that I was able to see, like because I know those archetypes, right? So I can be like, okay, that's part of the archetype. That's part of the archetype. That's not.
Yeah, nothing with Monica.
That's like that's actual character underneath.
Monaco's an interesting one because she was the classic like student president like archetype, which is like the perfect person. Usually anime has like the perfect person who can like be the one that's a solid like line of like I am great.
The Sasuke.
Do you guys remember her first poem?
Yeah.
No.
It was like hole in the wall where she was like describing like some peeping tom that was like
yeah.
or something.
That's telling.
Yeah, that was Monica.
Because she's a voyeur.
That was
Out of
day
all
one
this,
poem
right?
from her.
No, that was great. All the poems were very awesome. That was the
Yeah.
best.
Except for
turning point.
Natsuki's, let's be honest.
Well, hers were important because they were the ones that kept
Birds
you.
can't
thinking
fly.
that it made you think that they were like in the world,
Yeah.
you know, where the other ones were a little out there and like give you little hints. That one they try to subvert it and keep it like, oh no, it's a poem. Don't worry about
That's
it.
right. Even Yuri said everyone
You need
has
something to
different writing
balance it.
styles.
If they were all like weird and bizarre, you'd be like, what is going on? From the
Yeah, it would kind
tricks
of
you. Yeah, it's just in the back of your head. It's not like the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
Because even I knew something was weird about this game from the get go, but I wasn't like seeking it out really. It was just kind of like let it happen. And that's why I was surprised. It was literally like an hour, and I'm like, is this just a regular game? Like, what is like a regular boring anime dating game? What is going on?
So, final question for all of you. Did you guys think I was up to something when I gave you this game? Or did you think it was more like, oh, Bella's being Bella again?
I knew you were up to something.
Really?
We know
You're always up to
it could be
something.
literally anything. You're like, you could just be like, oh, it's just anime, so it's funny. Like that could have been it. It could have been.
I knew you were-
That's the angle I thought you guys would take. That's honestly the angle I thought you guys would take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
While
yeah.
it would have been funny for you to like force us to play something like Hoonie Pop or whatever.
No, because there's no
I know.
payoff to
I don't think we
that.
could fill
That's
an
a great
hour
game. Fuck you.
with talking about Jungle Jewels with porn on the side.
It's softcore. Come on.
I know, Greg, you bought me Hoonie Pop. I've yet to
It's a
play
great game.
I've yet to play it. But if time
I
has
played
said if time has told me anything, it's gonna take. No, actually, I think I should be playing it right now because it took 2 years after Chris told me to
It's
play
not
Doki
that
Doki.
It's not. This is deeper than that.
It's a lot of depression.
I was pleasantly surprised, honestly. I was like, oh, this could be.
Yeah, no, I kind of had an idea what it would be about. I didn't think I would like it so much.
Yeah, pleasantly surprised.
I thought it would be more like. I mean, I knew the game was like popular, so I guess I knew it would like do the topic justice. But I'm kind of happy with how like down to earth it was. In a
I didn't
weird
know what the topic was. I thought it could have been anything. I thought maybe they were like trying to murder you or something.
It's purposely open ended. Anyway, closing statements, boys.
I like this style. I think it'd be cool to do more reviewing weird free games and checking them and having bizarre
Me too.
relationships.
Me too.
So we'll see what happens. Who's next? Is it Nick or Steve?
I think I'm next.
All right, so
Yeah.
set the bar pretty high.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not playing Factorio. I'm not playing Satisfactory.
Wait, are we doing another game review?
It's got to be a free game, right?
We'll figure it
It
out.
has,
I'm not gonna force you guys to play
No,
like
we can buy
it's a
it.
couple of bucks.
I don't think that no one else is gonna like.
I mean, I did that to you guys.
I like the style though. So
It's pretty legit. We're gonna play more now, guys.
or we could do like watch a movie, some kind of thing of media would be interesting to do.
Yeah, we can do media in general. But okay,
problem is-
before we
just-
start talking about who's next, I want to. That's another thing I want to ask you guys. So we're gonna have a rating system, everyone. So every time we do a media thing, we're gonna rate it out of 8. Out of 8 goons.
Why 8?
Yeah,
Why 8?
8 is great, mate.
because I just fucking said so.
Make it 10.
That's
Okay,
it
fair
10.
enough. Fair
Yo,
enough.
1 to beans.
Jesus, no, not bean. No.
All right,
No.
6 out of 8.
All right, 1 to 8, go.
6
out
out
of
of
8.
8 goons. Greg says 6 out of 8 goons. Nick, how many goons are you gonna give this mammoth
I give it
hammer?
like a 7 out of 8.
7 out of 8
Wow.
goons? Wow,
Holy
okay,
shit.
That's fucking generous.
Wait. Would Nick, would you play a similar style game now because of this game?
To an extent. Not. I don't know.
Because now you
If-
have
Would you play a
If
game
it's-
like this without the kind of payoff that Doki Doki gave you?
That's hard to say.
no, I like
If I'm connected to a game like this one where it interacts so much where I'm thinking constantly by the end of it, like, what the hell just happened? Like, what am I doing? How do I feel right now? Yeah, I might. I
That's
might
not
like
most
it a
of
lot.
those. Most of those do not do that.
But, like, I don't know. It doesn't even have to be an anime game. The fact that I was thinking so much by the end of it, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm glad
this is
you were able to enjoy it despite like before
Yeah.
not really liking this
Yeah,
style of game. Or
Because I
ever
was
playing
worried
this kind
about
of
Nick
game
the
before.
most.
Right.
Yeah.
I
I
was
think he was gonna
I
finish
was completely blown away. I did not expect to like it. I did not expect to connect with it because weirdly enough, when I asked earlier what was like your final thoughts after the game, my thought was, yo, I know a Yuri. I know a Natsuki. Like, I wonder if I should
number?
check in on these people, like see how they're doing. Like, yo,
I want to
hey,
read them poetry, boy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, let's talk about glory holes or whatever that hole in the wall is.
Again, I mean, if we want to talk about the actual depression aspect, it got a little ridiculous. Like the whole point where like she was freaking out, even if you confess your love to her, she's still upset. Like, okay, I'm not a doctor, but I think that's beyond depression. That's like, again, it makes sense when she's like programmed beyond like super depression. And that's why it kind of it's not really doing justice to depression.
Fair
it's like not real depression.
Yeah.
But
Well,
you know.
I don't know. Let's
I'd
not get
say-
into that.
Well, everything has different degrees, right? I'm sure some people might have that level of depression,
Because
but again,
mental
some people
health
probably
is a
don't.
spectrum. Like,
Yeah.
It's like
My point is, I wouldn't say that's realistic per se. I wouldn't go that far. I don't know.
Yeah, I would
That's
say I think they put it behind the masquerade of her controlling everything.
Right.
But I mean, like I've heard people say those things.
No, for sure.
Like that's always like. So I think it's a very real thing.
How many goons do you give it?
yeah. How many
I give it
games?
6 out of 8.
6 out of 8.
All right.
I'm torn between 6 and 7.
Doesn't matter.
I can't give it 6.5. Can I? Okay, it has to be. Let's make a
6.5,
rule.
yeah.
Let's make a rule. No. You can't do 0.5s.
Okay.
Actually, no, you can. I'm gonna give it 6.5.
Okay.
I make the rules for this episode.
We'll round up to 7.
Yeah.
Half a goon.
6.5.
Lower half or top half? Which half?
Lean
bottom,
towards
'cause
7.
we're-
Lean towards 7.
Bottom, because we're all swinging 10
Big
inches.
half. Okay.
The half without the neck snapped off.
Nice.
I'm sorry. That's
That would be pretty fucked
Fine.
up.
All right. No, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
I was more than pleasantly surprised. It was a blow away. It was like a mind fuck to me.
That's good because
What the hell?
you messaged like you were done with it, and it was so like
Yeah,
That was
I even said to
hours.
Greg, like, this fucking sucks.
yeah, I was
What
like,
is
worried
going
you
on?
hated it.
But that's when I saved and I got off for the night. I was like, this isn't worth my fucking time. How are we going to talk about this for a fucking hour
2 hours is a
in a
lot.
podcast? And then I finish it and I go, all right, I don't think an hour is long enough, man. This is fucked.
Well, that's great.
One thing I learned is I'm really good at reading cursive, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, with the
I
Yuri's
read all the
poems.
poems out loud as
Yeah.
fast as I could, and I was able to read Yuri's pretty
Yeah,
well.
I normally read. I think most people do. They read at like a pace they would actually physically like say it. But if
Yeah.
you're speed reading, you're not supposed to do that. So at a certain point, like in the first half, I was like, okay, I have to go faster than this. I cannot go with the speed I'm reading. It's gonna take too long. I'm just gonna sum it up.
Because I was, yeah, it was good.
A lot of time, it was just like people being like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I mean, I'm just so sorry." It's like, Jesus, move on. Next scene, please.
Sorry.
All right, everybody. This has been Doki Doki Literature Club.
Doki Doki.
Yeah,
Doki
everyone. All right,
Doki.
you know what? Can we do
1,
this?
2, 3.
All right, can we do this on the count of 3? Everyone say Doki Doki.
No, we can't.
1, 2, 3.
Doki
Doki!
Hey!
I'm fucking Monica.
All right, on the count of 3, saying I love beans. 1, 2, 3.
I don't like the weird bean obsession. I gotta tell you guys, it's getting too much. Please, someone else to support me.
Who pushed him to this?
It's
I want to know your name and ask
He
you
might be
questions.
a Monica in our group. He might be needing help, in, like seeking some kind of assistance.
the poem about beans.
Oh my god! It'd be beans. That's the whole
Okay.
page.
Beans.
Beans
Alright.
make a good bar.
So, yeah.
I can't stop beans.
If you reach the end of this podcast, thank you for listening. Honestly, that's really fucking cool of you.
We're so sorry. You reached the end of this podcast.
Also, if you haven't
Never
played
get that
Doki,
hour back.
if you haven't played Doki Doki Literature Club, definitely give it a go. It's free on
Free.
Steam. Go grab it. I think Desi had the fastest finish time. I think it was 2 hours.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah.
And I actually finished the game. You
Hold
fucker.
up. Oh, okay, I was gonna say I got like 70 minutes. What are you talking about?
I finished in a minute 40, but then I realized I didn't actually finish, so I had to go back.
Oh, there you go.
A minute 40. What?
Well,
Hour?
Nick, you didn't
Yeah,
see
minute 40,
everything.
Yeah, guys.
hour 40.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you missed all the other stuff that Greg had seen and I had seen.
Yep.
It's not much, but
It's
yeah,
not, but
it's something.
it's nice.
I might go back and watch like the full Game Grumps playthrough now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally got to the point where you couldn't continue because you had uninstalled the game, which was cool.
Yeah.
Cool thing.
But anyway, that was Doki Doki.
I'm
definitely give it a go.
DesperadoGPJ. You can find me on Steam. That's
Nick?
me.
Nick.
Oh, shit. I'm LeetDemon on Steam and Twitch. At Nicholas_Delk on Twitter. Follow. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm LeetDemon. Nick.
Steve,
Steve,
I know you got a lot to say.
Yeah, Blackened on Steam and Blackened X27 on Twitch.
Excellent. All right. I have been Bella Swift. You can find me on twitch.tv/Bella_Swift. You can find me on Instagram at no hecking way. You can find me on Twitter at I am Dayaan, just like it says right down over here. I am Dayaan. And also, please follow official GNSD Twitter. It's all the way down there. We had a lot of fun doing this episode, I think. I think we might stick to this a little bit more, doing like kind of reviews. It doesn't have to be games. It could be like different kinds of media, like Greg said. We could do movies. We could do I don't really want to do shows. I think like one-offs would be a little better. But yeah.
We actually probably figured that out before so we could tell the audience to listen to it so they don't get spoiled. But maybe next time we'll plan better.
Yes. So all the information about what's going to happen next will be uploaded and onto the Twitter account. Please follow it. And also, if you've played this game, or if you haven't, I want to know what you thought about it right down below in the comments. Or you can even tweet us as well. Like, I really want to... Because this game actually meant quite a bit to me. And like I said in the podcast, I never had anyone to talk to about it until now. And I had to force 3 people to play it just so we could have a conversation. But any of you, if you've played it before, please tell me what you thought about it. Because I had other thoughts that I wanted to share and I totally forgot. But yeah, we have been the Goon Squad and this has been a blast. We'll see you next time when Steve gets us to play some other bullshit. GG. All right. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.
Later, dudes.
Love you.